Why the hell would you open a restaurant?
Yeah. There's no. Let's.
That was literally what he says.
Let's not make it so clickbait.
Yeah.
Let's make it like.
Why?
Something to the lines of, there's more to opening a restaurant than just money, like fulfilling a vision.
Yeah.
Conquest. Dungeons
More than
and
meets the eye,
Dragons.
like Transformers.
More than meets the
Hello, TK.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you going,
I'm
mate?
great, thank you. Really good.
That's right.
We're going to start this one off a little bit differently, just because we can. There's someone in the wine industry, Nick Dugmore is his name, who's going through some health battles at the moment, and just thought we'd do a little shout out to the 7 people that are listening, to maybe if you've got a second and you've got a couple of bucks and you want some decent wine, if you suggest that you jump on the Stoke Wines website. Stoke Wines are coming out of KI, Kangaroo Island, South Australia. Really cool part of the world. Nick's making some really interesting wine coming out of there. But if anyone wants some interesting wine made in an interesting place, made by a good dude who's just sort of a bit down on his luck health-wise at the moment,
Get amongst it.
good opportunity to get a couple of bottles in the cellar and feel good doing it. So, yeah.
Got a website?
Yeah, we'll put it up here, Corey, somewhere here.
Bing plugged.
There we go. So awesome. So yeah, that'd be great if everyone could have a glass of wine and support. It's the right thing to do. Apart from that, I want to talk about a couple of things that are going on in the world of hospo this week. There's a bit happening. I'm going to start with maybe something that is kind of, what's the word? Inevitable. Is yesterday the announcement from the Australian government with regards to wage increases for this year. So the number was announced. So this goes out to all award people who are on award salaries or contracts, that there will be a 3.5% increase in pay for this year. So that happens. When does it actually happen? 3 weeks from today. So it's good. We've got all this time to plan for it. But again, it's the blanket thing. We don't have a choice. We're paying people. We've got to pay an extra 3.5%. What does that mean for you?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's hard because I guess I'm always about trying to support people, right? Like we support a lot of families here. My business employs over 500 people, depending on what time of year it is, right? So, and I take every single person that works for me, I take their livelihood extremely seriously.
Yep.
But there's got to come to a stage where there's got to be some commercial common sense come into it. Now,
who's responsible for providing that commercial common sense, do you think?
I really don't, because I know that I have a lot of my friends who think that it's fantastic as well, and then when they hear me complaining,
the increase is fantastic,
and they hear me complaining about it, and they just think because I own businesses that I'm complaining because I have to give more money away.
You're being Mr. Tight Ass because you don't want to give away an extra 3.5%.
And it's not even about that for me, but we're fighting inflation at the moment in Australia and a cost of living crisis. Now, that cost of living crisis, people don't realise that it's a direct fucking multiplier of labour. A lot of it is. I'm not saying all of it.
A lot. Yeah.
A lot of it is. So everybody talks about the fact that 3.5% is not a lot, but it really, really is. And what we did in the last time the minimum labour went up by 3.5% is we needed to just add a multiplier across every single menu that we have, every single wine list, and the prices need to go up.
Yeah.
So this time we're planning in 2.5 weeks. We'll print a draft menu we're rounding up to the nearest dollar at 3.5% up on every single dish. Now, we really don't have a choice because I'm not telling you that, but the margin is so razor thin.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
That 3.5% is the difference between losing and winning.
Yeah.
Like it's that simple.
Yeah.
So,
because that's the thing, I think one thing that I think people need to understand is that 3.5%, it's on the wage, right? But that wage makes up sometimes, depending on the business, up to 50% of the costs of that business. I mean,
And we're just about to have a super increase as well.
right.
Which again, I'm not trying
I'm not trying to avoid paying it.
or I'm not frowning upon people wanting to earn a decent quid,
Sure.
but I look at, we're in a unique situation where we've got a very big cross section of restaurants that we service, right? But how does a cafe manage that, or a little fruit and veg shop
Yeah.
who's still trying to sell potatoes for $2 a kilo?
Because no one wants to pay more than that.
No, nobody wants to pay more than that, but you don't understand that the fact that as soon as that person working behind the till, where their wages go up just 3.5%,
Yeah.
what that means is the price of lettuce, the price of potatoes, the price of corn, the price of beans, all goes up.
Yeah.
Price of fuel will go up.
Yeah.
It just has to happen.
Absolutely. Because it's all related.
So I don't understand the government's stance on, we need to address the cost of living crisis, so we'll give everybody a pay rise. Now, I get that, but they're in a position to address things like electricity, gas, fuel,
Tax,
multiple
taxes.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh.
Like, yeah, there's a
GST.
whole raft. The hard thing about it is when you're asking a business owner to comment on
Yeah.
it, it's generally one-sided. But I can't help but sit back and go, I wonder where it ends, because this government, or the Australian government, let's just blanket it with the
Yeah.
Australian government, not Liberal or National or Labor or whatever.
Whatever else there is left.
Fuck. It'll get to the stage where it'll be impossible to do business here. It really will.
Do you mean like cost prohibits?
Yeah.
Costs will prohibit the ability to do things. So if let's say that number, hypothetical, let's say that number went to 7%. Like you got to do a 7% increase next in 3 weeks' time. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, you'd be paying $8 for a cheeseburger at McDonald's.
Yeah, it's not far off that anyway. I mean, I wouldn't think.
I don't know, but
I know I saw someone post
No
something today.
Macca's talk.
No, actually, got to be careful about that. Fuck, don't mention the war.
Macca's.
But you know, there those kind of things. I mean, there's, we look at the price of certain things, and I think a lot of people have referenced something like a cheeseburger or something like that as or a thing of milk or a loaf of bread, or for me right now, the thing that I would look at is fucking chips.
yeah,
What do you mean it's $7 for a packet of chips? It's like, okay, well, it's no chips this week. I'll wait until they go half price. Then
it'll go to movie tickets. It'll go to fuel.
Yeah.
It'll go to like
everything.
hotels. Everything will be more expensive.
So, is there a fix?
I don't know. I just think that our government, our taxes are really, really high. Our wages are really, really high. But because the wages are really, really high, the cost of living is really, really high. So
Yeah.
it's like
That's the thing. They're
you're punching this one up to try and it feels like we're in a tank of water that's filling up,
yeah,
and we're trying to plug holes.
Yeah.
But we're not getting anywhere.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's almost like that. Like you said, those things that you're trying to pull that lever to get this one to do that, but by doing that, you're actually going the other way.
if mince.
I mean, I don't understand economics that
So
much.
if
but
mince, right?
as in
Beef mince.
right, not peppermints.
No, and so but beef mince. The price has been. We're in a buyer's market at the moment, right? So
Right.
the price of mince is reasonable.
Okay.
But then if you go and add the butcher's wage has just gone up, then the person stacking the shelves wage
Yeah.
goes up. The person at the till goes up. Their wages went up. The person doing the bookwork for the supermarket wages have gone up. That price of the mince has never been more expensive.
Mm.
Yet the organic price
actual
of that
product,
mince
yeah.
is low.
So
So-
the farmer's not getting any extra benefit
The
either.
cost of living, it's not helping fucking anything. It's
Yeah.
driving it north.
Yeah.
Yet it's a buyer's market for food. Like,
But then you can't get product. Buyer's market for eggs.
well, eggs are try and buy a chicken.
What is
at the moment.
happening with eggs?
Mate, there was the equivalent of a bird flu that went in and wiped out basically
All
everything.
of the chickens?
There was a conversation here before I went to the States a few weeks ago about taking Bernays off.
But for that reason?
Yeah, 100%.
I took...
There's 2 days here we struggled with milk and eggs.
I went to 4 shops the other day for eggs.
Yeah.
I was like, this is stupid.
You got to go to a small,
Yeah. You
Like
find
10 weeks up
someone.
in Budrum, great
Yeah.
fruit and veg shop.
There's that.
You'll pay $13 for a carton.
Yeah,
of
that's the
eggs.
thing as well. I ended up paying. I went to an IGA and I ended up paying $9 for cage eggs. And it was like I needed 2 eggs for something. I'm like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Even though I got called today, it's like, are you going to Costco? And I was like, do you want to get some eggs? I'm like, I'm not going to Costco today. But that's the thing. You go in there and you're fighting for people for them as well. If you're not there before 12 o'clock, they're gone.
Yeah.
I actually asked at Coles that I was like, oh, you know, do you have any eggs? And the woman, she just laughed at me.
Yeah.
She's like, no, they're gone by 9, like every day, because they get their allocation every day or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
tell you
But
what,
mate, I look at electricity as well and I go, where does it stop?
Yeah.
Because it's brutal out there.
yeah,
It's
and that's
brutal.
the thing. It's electricity, it's gas, and we've talked about it before, but geez, it'd be nice if there could be some other solution provided by someone. And it's like, it's not me. I'm not smart enough, but
And I, you know, without getting into politics, I sit back and I go, if this is the best we've got,
yeah,
but I look at America's the same, mate. Like, I went over there and it seemed like it was everyone's so stoked that Donald Trump's in, which I don't have a.
but is everyone though? That's the thing.
Well, mate, it certainly felt like
Did
it
it
for me.
really? Yeah,
fuck
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, absolutely.
And that's the thing.
And
I think.
females, there was one lady behind a bar we were talking about, because I raised it. I'm
Yeah.
like, last time I came over here, I made a Trump comment, and I got kicked out of a taxi. And she was laughing, and she was like, I hate Trump. I said, oh, you're the first person to hate Trump? She goes, yeah, because I've got a fucking uterus. So the female demographic over
Yeah.
there really,
Not
I
a-
found,
not
did not
fan,
like him.
yeah.
And that sort of toes in the line with my wife.
Yeah.
And my wife hates his guts.
Yeah,
But my stance on US politics is the same as Australia. If they're the two best we got, we're fucked anyway.
yeah,
So
exactly.
really, yeah. I just want. We need somebody with some smarts to come in and help fix this mess. I think.
I just think
Because jacking wages up is just going to fuck
not gonna
everybody.
do it, yeah.
Oh, why is electricity going up? I know. Every single person that touches that power will increase their wage.
Yeah.
That should help, right?
yeah, they're going to feel better about that. Is it? It's also that distraction a little bit. It's like, look over here while we do all of this over here. It's
We're
like,
paying
God,
$10,000 a month in electricity in the
It's
restaurants.
just insane. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Fucking crazy, all right? I don't know where the end comes. I don't want to dud people out of making a living, but holy shit, it's getting hard, mate. I don't know
Yeah.
where it all ends.
And the thing as well, it's not just us. It's like I said, this stuff
Everyone.
affects everyone.
Yep.
Absolutely everyone. It's you know, we were talking today at work about something, and it's like, oh, you know, we could get someone else to do that. It's like, we can't afford to do that. Like, I think that's the challenge. You start getting people who are then like, oh, I'm going to start changing my own tires, or you know, doing my own. Not Corey, because he can pull apart a car in 3
Can I
seconds.
ask this, but we're in a cost of living crisis, right?
Mm.
The minimum wage in Australia has never been better. Yet, across the board, it seems like it's never been harder for such a big majority of Australians. Has anybody asked why?
Yeah. To get ahead, you mean, or to save, or to get a house,
Just
or
to fucking live.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
not talking about buying a house.
Yeah.
I'm talking about putting fresh fruit and vegetables on a plate for your kids every week has never been harder. Yet the minimum wage has never been better. And if that's not an inkling for
Something
the
doesn't
fucking
make
government
sense,
to go, maybe something's a little bit fucked here.
yeah,
Like, and again, I've used this so many times. If I'm the smartest guy in the room, there's a real fucking problem.
yeah.
But I'm like, if the wages have never been better, shouldn't we be all fucking
Mint,
eating caviar and
Yeah.
I feel it's steak?
But that's the thing, they're going up to pay for the things that are really expensive. So it's like, well, something has to give at some point in time.
fuck. Anyway,
All right, let's get away from you and politics, because
Yeah.
that can be slippery and someone's going to get hurt.
but
Probably me.
news, mate. What's happening
there
around
is
the place?
there is some stuff going on.
But I feel sorry for Neil Perry.
Yeah, another closure this week.
That poor bastard's tipped everything into.
So again, it's like, I'd love to know more about that, to sort of, because it seems like, again, there's a few people now that are just making the decisions like, nah, it's not worth it, or you know, maybe business is a little tough for whatever reason, and it is. Like, it's tough for everyone. Like, you know, it's one of those things where if every hospitality venue at the moment isn't monitoring cash flow and planning and that kind of stuff, then they're doing the wrong thing.
And I've only met Neil Perry briefly a couple of times, right? So I don't know the guy
Mm.
very, very well. But I follow what he does because he's a living legend in
Yep.
the game, right? I would hope that the closure of Bobby's cocktail bar is 40 years of experience where he's just gone, well, this is not making a quid, so I'm cutting the head off the
Cut it
snake.
off, yeah.
I'm hoping that's the case, and I'd nearly guarantee you that that's what it is. And it's hard when you read all these grubs coming out and taking a swing at songbirds. Apparently, that's not trading, so I haven't been right, so I don't know. But it's a tough market, right? I'm hoping that he shut down Bobby's because it's hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
People had a crack at me when I shut down RB's, but it's like risk versus reward. Too much work, not enough reward. Why would I do that?
Why would I? Yeah.
I put enough time, effort, and energy structuring that lease so I didn't have to eat it when I shut it.
Yeah.
And so we've got to, it's not emotional for me.
No.
It's just simple mathematics and commerce.
It's hard because, and particularly with small business, when it's, again, when you put all your life into it and you put your life savings into it, or your house is on the line.
I can only imagine how much money you dusted it.
It'd be an absolute shit ton. Which is that almost nice little segue there. I know you didn't do that on purpose, but it is a nice little segue to one of the comments we had this week. Which I'm just pulling up like an old man because it's like I've got to take my phone away to see it now rather than bring it closer. This is from Nick Shertock. Shout out to Nick. He said, "Hey gents, not in the hospital game myself, but enjoying the podcast. Maybe you could have an episode on, given the costs, obstacles, risks, and hard work that we've discussed, why the hell do you create a new restaurant?" And he goes on to say, "There's more to it than just the chance to make a buck. Maybe discuss your personal experiences on realizing a vision." And I think that's exactly a really good point, because it's like we're talking about this all the time and how dire it is and how hard it is and everything else. Why the fuck would we get out of bed and do it? We're
relevant.
It's a great question, and I think there's several answers to this. My general answer to that in the past is comedic of some kind. I'd just say because we're idiots, or there's something wrong with us, or we're broken inside, or past trauma, whatever it may be. But I think realistically, there is something about this industry that I certainly don't know of any other industry that can give you that.
It's just because you've been out and back in.
Yeah, exactly. But there's that buzz, that service buzz that can't be replicated anywhere else. That's a big thing for me. There's also, for me personally, is the enjoyment of serving people, looking after people, seeing them have an experience that they haven't had before, or that is better than they were expecting. That's the stuff that I love doing. So they're the kind of the big ones, I suppose, why you would do it. Is it about the money? Certainly for me, I can answer that and say no, it never has been.
I think that's got to be generally across the board, because I don't do it for money, or else I would have been fucking out a long time ago. Because the reward that you have for the effort and the energy you put into it, it's certainly skewed in one direction, and it's not, doesn't point to a vacant beach in Tahiti.
No.
But I'm with you. I've been doing this for a long time. Like I'm 50 next year, and I started in this game when I was 18, and I've worked very, very, very hard and sacrificed fucking so much.
Yeah.
But I still doesn't really feel like I work a day in my life, because I just love what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very fortunate that I don't know very many people who do what they love every day.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm lucky in that respect.
Yeah.
Even the fact that I sort of transitioned from the kitchen to more of a holistic business approach, but I still love, I'm most comfortable talking to the chefs about food.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't do it for money. And I think that I know of a lot of people in business, and I can't help but think there's a bit of a trend when you don't do something for money, you do it for passion.
Yeah.
The money ends up coming as a subsidiary because of it.
If you do it right.
Because you're generally going to do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just doing it for money,
Yeah.
I think that you generally will take shortcuts just to get it done.
Yeah.
And then that will then impede the money that will come because of that hard work.
And I think it's that idea of...
Have you ever listened to the author Earl Nightingale?
No.
He says, he has in one of his books, he says, you must become successful first before you make money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's like...
I don't disagree. It's kind of what I'm saying.
It's like that. When I think we've talked about it before, that I really early on, I think we talked about that action versus motivation.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you just need to get started, and then you'll get motivated.
Well, mate,
rather than the other way around.
And it's funny, like I've listened to a few well, I've spoken to a few young chefs, and I often say, well, so what's your dream? Like, what do you want to do? And some chefs go, I want to go and open a patisserie in Paris. I want to go to New York. I had a chef not long ago say, I want to do what you do. And I said, what do you mean? Do you want to own your own restaurant? He goes, no. I just like how you come and go as you please, and you don't really have to be anywhere at any particular time, and you don't have to work really hard, and you get to go home and be with your family. It's like, it's fucking 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I left home at 5:15 this morning.
Yeah.
And I get
And
that
my
people
phone is on 24/7.
People don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
As much as that's really offensive when you first
Yeah,
says
it
like,
can be, yeah. Yeah.
but it's like that's not their fault. But I wouldn't change that, because today the impact that I've had on, I reckon, half a dozen different people has been so good.
Yeah.
Like, especially around the middle of my day today, it was
Yeah.
like, it was fucking, I had a real win.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a win, and
Great.
nothing massive, but just we moved the dial on a few things.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It was positive. Yeah.
it was fucking positive.
And you need those, and I think that's the thing, is this industry traditionally is quite peak and trough.
Yeah.
It just is, whether it's cyclical, whether it's because of where you are, and you might be, like say Noosa, for example, where it used to be a lot more peak and trough. There's basically 4 times a year when that'd be busy, and then outside of that, it was pretty much a ghost town. It was a long time ago now, but those things, you need those spikes to keep you motivated for when the trough's coming, and that it's going to slow down at one point in time, and it's like you need something to keep you going. So there's part of me that thinks maybe this is this series of ups that keep you going enough, and if you've got enough of those ups, then you're going to keep doing it. And I think as soon as you stop having those and it becomes tedious, monotonous, boring, whatever it may be, it's like time to get out, time to do something else. But I was just thinking again, the other thing that probably brings me a lot of joy, and I think I've spoken about this before as well, is the team, is the people that I get to work with, up, down, across, everywhere. It's like, when I'm, and even today, like I called one of the team today because she tasted the wine earlier, I tasted it later on today, and I said, I guarantee, I was speaking to the winemaker, and I said, I know which wines she would have liked. And he's like, which ones? I said, those 2. And he's like, yeah, 100%. So I rang her, and I was like, which ones do you like? She's like, which ones do you think I'd like? I'm like, it's going to be the Sangiovese for sure. She's like, yeah, absolutely. And even yesterday I was tasting with Chris down at Rickshaw's, and same thing. I'm like, you're going to love this wine. And he's like, oh my God, you know me. And I was like, yeah. And then I love that, because it's like, I do know what his palate is like now after working with him for nearly a year. And I can sit there and I'm going to go, he's going to like that. And this is why he's going to like that. But he's also going to know that we're not going to buy it. And I think that's the bit where I'm like, that's cool. I love that stuff. And I got, even years and years and years ago, I was working in a bar in Ireland, and the guy working there, Keith Wall, I will never forget this guy's name. A tiny little guy. He was like 5 feet tall, this dude. Like a jockey. He was an amazing bartender, and he and I had that thing, and I've probably only had it maybe 3 or 4 times in my life when you work in a small confined space where you don't have to speak to someone.
Yeah.
And he and I on Friday and Saturday nights in this bar
just jammed.
We just didn't talk. And everything was just where it needed to be. If I moved that, he'd do this. If I did this.
I work in a kitchen where there's just been 2 of us, and you don't even need to call tickets.
It's like, it's funny. It's like, I just think every now and then I think about that. And then I think about, I just remember someone once saying, that feeling when you're cutting Christmas paper and with your scissors and it glides straight through. It's like, I'm not sure what heroin tastes like or feels like, but I'm pretty sure it's like that. That's what great service is to me. It's that gliding through that paper. And
mate, I spoke earlier about Damien restaurant that we went to in Los Angeles.
Last episode, yeah.
And it was very fucking cool, right? This joint. But very early on, they knew that we were in the hospitality game.
People work it out pretty quick, right?
At the end of it, they were like, you guys have been so much fun. Because we had so much fun with the staff. There was one waitress who was looking after us, and the son was a young girl who was sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
And between all of us, we had so much fun. Yeah. And when we walked out, we're like, and fucking that is exactly why we fucking do this. And we didn't spend a fucking $1 million. We ate really well. We drank interesting stuff. We had great conversation with the staff. Yeah. We let them take us on a journey. Yeah. Which
they love that.
Which best represented that restaurant. Yeah. And I felt because we did that, we understood probably more than most of the people who were dining in there.
And it goes back to this thing of the original restaurants weren't restaurants. They were homes that people would go in and eat what they were given, and you have that experience, and that's what it is.
Mate, would you believe there's in South Central Los Angeles, there's still a lot of taco places run out of their grandmother's backyards.
Yeah. I would believe that, 100%.
And literally it's a marquee and a barbecue.
And interesting you say that, because good segue again. We haven't planned any of these, by the way, just so everyone's aware. Sunday night, watched the Vince Vaughn movie called Nonnas. And it's like...
I haven't seen it.
You've got to watch it.
I've seen the shorts of it.
It's not like... It's not going to win an award.
No.
But it's a great watch, and particularly for hospitality. And what it brings, it distills it all down to one thing for me. And that story does it again. My story, hopefully, same thing. Food is about connection. It's about connection to that food, the producer, the person serving it to you, the people you're with. It's this fucking web.
And mate, that's exactly what it was like, because the waitress was telling us about this grower who grew these zucchini flowers for the chef.
Yeah.
Then the som was telling us about this tiny little mezcal producer.
Yeah.
His name was blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 bottles and we don't even have it on the wine list.
Yeah.
We save it for people who are really into it and go, do you want to try?
Yeah. XYZ.
So, maybe tag Damien Restauranting, because it's very well, and it's not super expensive.
But that's the thing. But when it's done well, it doesn't need to be expensive. You can do that at a $10 burger joint as well.
And I said to Luke, I said, "There's no fucking wondering why this joint's going to feed 500 people today." Like, and so they should.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I don't know whether we've answered old mate's question, but it's, for me, it's never been about the money.
Yeah.
And I've always sort of said, I'm not appeased by money, which makes me as a business partner, very difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Because I'm not motivated by it at all.
Yeah.
If I've got enough money to feed my family, I'm fucking happy.
Yeah.
And if I don't have to worry about my phone bill or power bill, even happier.
Great. Yeah.
But I get up and I'm motivated every single day. Now it's a bit different as a 50-year-old guy, because I get asked about the legacy frequently.
Yeah.
And I wish I had an opportunity to speak to my dad about this.
Yeah.
But for me, giving young guys opportunity,
And girls.
well, I mean guys and
People.
people,
Yeah.
giving them opportunity is, for me, it gives me such a buzz.
Yeah, that's rewarding.
I've got another real good mate of mine he's diving into his own restaurant, and I want to help him so much.
Yeah.
Because I just want him to win
Yeah.
so fucking badly. And seeing he's procrastinated about opening a restaurant for 10 years, and now he's just doing it.
Committed, yeah.
And if I can just give him a little bit, it'll be so good. I mean, another good mate of mine, he opened a joint in Airlie Beach called Eastwoods. You've got to check it out if you're up there. It's fucking
I've
very
heard
good.
of it. Yeah, yeah.
It's basically Rice Boy, Boca combined. So it's like Rice Boy with Boca service. So like half decent wine list, table service.
It's a pretty good one.
Slick cocktails. Yeah. So it should. Shout out to Kirsty. Sorry, I didn't say half decent wine list. She was the director of food and beverage at Qualia, so she's fairly experienced.
Probably got an idea of what she's doing, yeah.
But, mate, and they were really nervous about opening a restaurant, so they should.
Did they take that over?
No. It really was not. They were looking at buying pre-existing businesses, and I was. Me and Jack worked together. I'm like, "What are you buying, mate?
Yeah.
You're going to change it all.
Exactly.
There's no goodwill.
There's no value in that. Yeah.
And I could when you sense somebody's really listening to you, so then you just want to give more.
Yeah.
So we were on the blower a lot. They ended up signing a lease in this place. There'd never been a restaurant before. They needed to borrow some money, and I was shitting myself for them, right? And they opened, and it was a bit soft when they first opened, but now they are fucking flying.
Yeah, that's great.
And, mate, I watch their social media, and I can't help it, man. I'm in bed at 10:30 at night, and my wife will be like, "What are you got a big cheeky grin on your face for?" I'm like, fucking these guys are slaying it up.
They're doing it. Yeah, doing it well.
I look at that and I go, if I even added just a scrape to their success, that's my legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's such a fucking win for me.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing. Is like if you can, and I think again, I keep thinking about this now. The more I think about that idea of serving people, helping people.
Yep.
I think I'm kind of wired that way. I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're all wired a little bit that way, where we do want to help, or we want to serve, whichever way you want to call it. I mean, the challenge is the difference between serving and service. You know,
Well, this is the same, but like she hasn't worked in the industry for many years now.
yeah,
But we were at rugby earlier this afternoon, and she's on the ground. She comes along to watch our son play. All she wants to do is help people who are on the field. She'll either go and help somebody who's struggling to pick something up, or
Yeah.
she'll say, "I'm going to go get a drink." She'll go around and ask everybody if they
Yeah.
want to. And that's the hospitality thing coming out in
Yeah.
her. She's at her finest when she's making people happy.
yeah.
And I think the few of us that are in this game, that's inside you.
There's a people pleaser aspect of it,
And I think
which-
that's what gives you a buzz out of life.
absolutely. And there's that people pleasing thing can be super positive,
Yeah.
and it can also be where people take advantage of you as
Yeah.
well. So you got to be careful about that. But Nick, I hope that sort of went to answering your question a little
Fingers
bit.
crossed.
I'm just going back to it to have a look at it again and seeing how far off we got with it. But I think it's yeah. Why the hell do you create a new
I think you're
restaurant?
pretty on the
I think the reason
having
is
a
that
vision, good
we're
service,
a
good
little bit
hospitality.
crazy, but yeah.
serving people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like that's
It's
the
fun, though.
it can be fun. Like, don't get me wrong. And like you said, it's hard work.
Oh, it's fucking hard.
And like someone said to me, I got a phone call from one of the team at the Gold Coast last week. It was like 6:30 on a Thursday night. So I'm like, oh God, what's happened? Because if I'm being called at night time, there's a problem. And I get the, oh mate, and he was just saying, PJ, I love you. But this was like, he said, I've got a meeting tomorrow at 10. Can you be here for this thing? And I'm like, mate, no. Do you know where I live? And he's like, no. So I live on the Sunshine Coast. And he's like, what? Why? And I'm like, that's just where I live. And he's like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, it's like I drive a lot. That's just what it is. If I didn't like this, I wouldn't do it. It's as simple as that.
And you to work for a group that you work for, you're
Yeah.
very limited on where you're going to go, especially in Queensland.
That's what I said. So there's
You've got
four-
maybe
there's-
two or
there's
three, and then
four of
you're
these
going to
roles in
Sydney or
Queensland.
Melbourne. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm very fortunate in that regard. Is something who's popped up?
No, I've just had, because I don't have to go to work very often, I've had 4 missed calls from a handyman that I may need to call right now. I should put him on speaker.
Oh God. I don't think we should do that.
We will.
We might come back in a second.
We will blip this out. All right, we're
I'm
back.
sure you can write it. We're back. Just want to talk briefly about that little break you just had. I know you're probably going to calm down at another time, but this is just to go back to the point that we're talking about. You are on call 24/7. You just took a phone call because you'd had 5 missed calls or 4 missed calls from someone.
Yeah, one after another after
Right,
another.
from the same person,
Yeah.
which generally means
Red
death. Because I did that the other night, and I'm in so much trouble still for it.
It wasn't Jan, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, fuck. You should have answered it.
I didn't have my phone. It's the first time in I don't know how many years. Anyway, we're still working through it. But the point is, you're on call 24/7. Someone's just called you with an emergency-ish sort of situation, but
No power at piggyback.
that's relatively important. Yeah. So basically, the entire power has gone off at one of the restaurants. What do we do?
We've got a $50,000 generator there because it's in the basically
It's in the
hinterland,
bird.
right?
It's in
So we
the-
get a lot of storms,
Yeah.
and you live in the
Yeah.
hinterland, you
Yeah.
know what it's like.
Yes.
So, but the problem with the hinterland as well, it's hot as fuck in the summer and cold as fuck in the winter.
Yeah.
So first
need heating,
fresh
need
night,
cooling.
and but for
Well,
some
they cranked
reason
the
it
heaters and
just tripped, and then the generator it's supposed to run for 9 hours, and it ran for 6 minutes, and then
cut out.
shut out and said too much amps.
Jeez, what's drawing? Anyway, but that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, and the other point to that is that being a
Well, we're
restaurant,
shutting 45 minutes early. It cost me about $4,000.
that's awesome, so good. But it's another thing about when you open a restaurant, you have to be a master of all trades or understand at least.
Yeah.
Because if you're having conversations with a Sparky in particular, and you don't understand what they start talking about in terms of ampage and wattage and that kind of stuff, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and I don't know.
No,
I've just
exactly.
educated myself
Exactly.
around
You
it.
have to, right? Because, like, well, I need to know what you're
But-
talking about.
And I often say, just give it to me in layman's terms
Yeah.
because I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So tell me what I like. Give it to me in the rawest form.
Yeah.
And I can workshop the problem.
Yeah.
But for me, it's And again, I mean, any business is difficult.
Yeah.
No,
But not all businesses are going to get a phone call at,
fucking 9 o'clock.
almost 9 o'clock at
Yeah.
night on a Wednesday
And for
going,
me,
fuck, we've lost power.
It's so important because tomorrow's Thursday. We need to get it fixed because
You got to get through the weekend.
tomorrow night and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah. That's it.
we're going to take
when it all
70% of our revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, and it's not going to get any cooler. So, any warmer.
No,
So
not there and not now.
Yeah, it's hard. And then there'll be something with the gas in the kitchen, or there'll be whatever. It's
So that's
hard.
the thing. You need to understand all those things, but it is relentless. And I think that's again going back to Nick's comment. We're actually giving you reasons why you wouldn't do
You
it.
should
I
have
think,
filmed
potentially.
it.
So
Well, you did. Yeah.
yeah, well,
cameras rolling.
it's there.
It was all on there. We couldn't hear the call. You were quite far
We-
away. It
we-
was fine, and I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm
I
really
think it's probably
glad.
best for everyone that we didn't actually maybe get a lot of
Tomorrow
that
morning
a lot of
will
that
be a
audio.
bit-
Yeah,
You're still radiating heat.
yeah, exactly. It's just gonna be a couple of marshmallows back
I think I
here.
need to go home and have a fucking scotch.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. It is getting late, but look, there's so much things we can discuss. There is a lot going on in the world. We'll talk about this again next week. But there is it's an interesting space right now where restaurants sort of sit and where hospo is at the moment. So
And all we can do is support. You
Yeah.
don't have to go out for dinner and spend
No.
$300 in your favorite restaurant, but go out and buy a coffee or
like their post,
Grab a
share their
sandwich.
post,
watch our YouTube.
watch the YouTube.
Apparently, we've got a YouTube channel.
subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the Spotify.
Can you share a YouTube channel? I'm so shit at social media.
Yeah,
Share,
share.
like, subscribe,
As in the
follow.
singer, or
Sure.
Head to our YouTube channel, which is behind.podcast.
there we go.
I did actually watch it the other day when I was at home by
Did you?
myself, and it came
Sound-
up. I jumped on YouTube and it popped up. I'm like,
It actually
I'm gonna
popped
watch
up on
that.
my wife's feed the other day.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I get people in some of the venues. Someone was like, "Hey, you came up on my feed the other day." I was like, "Sorry about that. Sorry, apologies."
No, we're not sorry.
No.
Sorry
We're
at
not.
all.
We're not really sorry.
Give
at
it a
all.
share.
You're welcome.
Everything helps.
Yeah.
Not sure about that. And please, if you're still listening, Stoke Wines, check it out. Give them a little
Yeah, buy a six pack.
couple of cases
I'm gonna
order.
buy
That'd be
some.
nice. Yeah, I think it'd be a good
do
thing to
it.
do. So,
100%.
TK, before we go, I want to ask a question. Corey, you're involved in this as well. 50-meter pool, 6 feet of water, right in the pool.
Okay.
Great white shark at one end,
No.
fully grown adult grizzly bear at the other end.
How big's a shark?
Big enough to be in the pool and still be underwater,
Grizzly bear.
but mature, but not like a bus.
I'm not in the pool.
None of us are in the pool. We're watching from the grandstands with popcorn, and it's a fight to the death. Who wins?
The great white shark.
Oh, fucking.
There's not a chance. There is not a fucking chance.
No, grizzly bear, I reckon, is the apex predator.
You are in the great white shark's territory. Or let's say it's a saltwater pool and it can swim.
The-
6 feet, yeah. How big's a bear? Big fucker.
They can be like 12 feet tall standing
Yeah, that's
up.
fine.
Yeah, 12 feet tall standing up. But if it's in water, it's going to be on all fours paddling.
Mate, it's
No,
going to be standing
stand
up
up.
6 feet water. It'll be out like this, and we'll see the shark coming.
Have you seen how fast the great white shark can move?
Oh, no. I'm glad I
Grizzly bear can go
haven't.
40 miles an hour.
Yeah, like
Their hands, mate.
It's like a fucking bus with teeth.
Imagine the paw of a grizzly bear.
You can shoot
Grizzly bear.
a grizzly bear in the fucking head with a 9mm and it will not go through its skull.
you can try and stab a shark
Yeah.
in the head, like with a knife, and you won't go through its skin.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm team fucking grizzly.
So team
There's
bear,
very-
team shark.
Shark.
There's
Love it.
very few fucking
100%.
animals on Earth that sends fucking fear into me like a grizzly bear does.
And we're gonna put a little post up here. We're gonna tag. It's a podcast that I've been listening to since the start. It's a golf podcast, so people will probably drop off very quickly. But it's fucking awesome. I love this thing so much. It's called Chasing Scratch. We can throw a link in here. They started this many years ago about Team Bear, Team Shark, and this year they've combined to work as a team, and they're Team Bear Shark. And it is the funniest logo I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And I cannot encourage. And Eli and Mike, if you ever see this, I love it so much. You guys are amazing.
Are you team bear or team shark?
I don't know yet, but I
Team
love
Shark.
asking the question.
Team shark. It's the most.
I think I'm Team Shark, to be honest.
It's the easiest answer in the world.
No, it's not.
You
That's
are-
the point, because you went 50-50. Every single time I ask
Have you
two
seen
people,
a really
it's always
fucking
one
pissed
either
off
way.
grizzly bear?
Have you seen a really big great white shark in the ocean?
But it can't be that big though,
really
because it's
big.
6 feet of water.
Have you seen how
That's
many?
why I love this question.
Have you seen how many people have been taken from knee-deep water?
Yeah, good point. I just
Knee-deep water.
the shark thing for me is like if the shark comes in and just grabs a leg, like just boom, the grizzly's going to bleed out.
Yeah, exactly. So all it needs to do is take one curiosity bite.
Are you asking ChatGPT? What is this?
The size. Look at the size.
Yeah,
of
no,
that
that's
fucking
no, I don't want,
grizzly
that's a V-dub.
Yeah, but
Is that real? That's not
It's a
real.
fucking real bear.
That's not real.
It's fucking real.
There's
mate.
no way.
Yeah.
That's pure AI.
No, it's not.
It is.
Everything's AI in your
Exactly.
fucking world.
It is. It's all
okay.
bullshit.
So the bear's
Look at that
walking.
fucker.
Yeah, that's big.
The bear's walking. Can't exactly see what's happening.
It's a clear pool, mate. It can see everything.
It is not going to match the speed of the shark.
Yeah, okay. I see your point. I think I'm pretty much leaning towards Team Shark as well, but
I even think a juvenile.
that is a fat bear. That's like me in the morning.
I honestly reckon even a juvenile bull shark would beat it.
There we go.
I'm that confident.
On that note, take us straight in the headphones.
Good night, guys.